This is part 2C. So for part 2C, we're going to combine program 1 and program 2 from part 1, and then we're going to create a menu option to let the user choose like which program are they going to choose and perform the task. And then after that, we're also adding this line to let the user choose whether to continue the program by starting over, or they can also terminate the program. Okay, so let's go to the code. Okay, this one, the data part, here we initialize everything, including we put this one, the prompts that we need for the task, this thing, the built-in one. So we have this one, this is for the array one, and then also we have this one is for the perimeter one. Okay, so we're going to start from here. So let me add a point. We will start over. Alright. Okay. So let me press F10. Okay, so this line is like putting the intro inside EDX, inside register, and then we call write string, it writes out the register content, and then spacebar, and then this one, it puts the main menu inside, and then it prints out the main menu, and then also leave a row blank, and then moving on to the option, the first option of the menu. So here we can let user choose to calculate the perimeter hexagon or to calculate the sum of the array elements. And then okay, so line 57, we are this one is the input line, so also we print it out, and then here you can input your choice. For example, I'm doing the first one or second. Okay, I am doing the first one. Okay, so I'm going to put my I'm doing the second one, sorry. So I'm going to type 2, enter. So it doesn't show now, but when you come back here, you step over this line, so you can see my input is 2. Okay, and then it moved the option, which is 2, inside EAX. It moved it into the option variable. And then next step. Okay, so we compare 2 and option. If it is the same, it's going to jump to this calculate sum, odd or even. So yeah, it is the same because our input is 2, so it jumps to here. Okay, so here it puts the intro inside EDX and then print it out. So we have the intro here. Calculate sum, index, odd or even in array. Let me just put this a bit. Okay, and then leave a row blank. Here the counter we put 6 because we are going to loop through the thing 6 times to get 6 user inputs, and then we initialize this with 0 because the array contain the first element starts with 0. Okay, so now we have reached the input loop. Okay, so we are going to put the prompt of the summation inside EDX and then print it out. So okay, so here we have the integer input. Let me simply type a value, and we'll come back here, and it is 16. Just now I put 16, and then it moves the value of EAX, which is the 16 here. Here it reads the value from there, put it inside as the first element of the array. Okay, and then add 4 to ESI to move like the array to the next element. Okay, so we loop this. Okay, so this is, yeah, we go through the same thing. Let me just simply put a value and come back here, and then we go through everything, and then here it goes to add another 4 to ESI, so that in the next loop we're going to the third element of the array. 75, let me just put 75. Okay, so come back here, we have 75, and then we are going to go through this process 6 times. 75 again. Okay, oh, forgot to press enter. Oh, sorry. Okay, fifth value, I'm going to put 33. Come back here, and then the last value we're putting, for example, 12. Okay, enter, and then come back here. Yeah, so we have 6 value already, so the loop has ended, and then we're moving the 0 into total even variable, and then put 3 because we're adding up 3 of the even numbers, 3 of the and then we initialize this with 0 because just now it has changed the value. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then this one is count even loop, so we're adding up 16, 75 and 33. Okay, so it is initially 0, and then we add EAX. We add EAX into total even, and then we add to move it from the first element to the third element. So this one is the same thing, so it will go through like everything as explained in the second video from the previous part. Okay, so same thing goes to the total odd. So here we initialize it with 4 because it's starting from the second element. So counter as usual 3, and then we're adding the EAX. Okay, so this one is the second value in the array, so we move it to EAX, and then EAX here we move it into a total odd. Okay, so we move it to the next two array element, and then we go through everything. Okay, so now it has summed up the total odd and total even. Okay, and then the result sum, we are going to print the prompt result sum index, and then spacing, and we are going to print sum for even index. So we have the value 124, which is 16 plus 75 plus 33. We have 124. And then same thing goes to the odd. We're going to print the total summation for the odd. Okay, and then here we're going to ask again. So a user can press either Y or N to like choose whether they want to do this again or not. And then for now, I'm going to put N because I want to terminate. Okay, and then come back here. Right character. Okay, so this is my choice. So when it comes to here, it compares my choice with N, so it matched up. So we're going to jump to the goodbye. The goodbye is here. So we have the thank you prompt, and we're going to print a thank you prompt. So that's it for the first option of this program.
So I will continue for the remaining part, which is the first program to calculate the perimeter hexagon. So selecting the input, I'm typing 1. So it will display these two lines. This is the intro for Perry, which is this one, intro Perry 1. And then this is prompt 1. So we got this input because of the line over here. So this line will automate. So this line moving the offset of intro Perry 1 into EDX and right string, this will display the first line over here. And then for the prompt 1, it is also the same concept. So now I'm going to input hexagon 1 side length. I'm going to put it as 24. So for hexagon 2, I'm going to put it as 32. So now we can see the result over here showing the perimeter of the first hexagon and perimeter for second hexagon, as well as the total perimeter of the two hexagon. So now we are moving on to the code to explain how is this happen. So just now we stop over here for the prompt 1. So after displaying the message, we call for the read decimal to read for the user input over here. So then the user input is stored into EAX, but we're gonna move it to site hex 1. We're gonna store the value of the decimal into the site hex 1. So now site hex 1 is storing the value of 24 right now. So before start looping, we need to initialize the value of result 1 into 0. Then we are moving the site hex 1 into EAX. Then move the value of 6 into ECX because we are looping for 6 times an ECX function as the counter. So after doing all this, we move on to L1. So L1, the first line, we are adding the EAX with result 1 and store the result in the variable result 1. So now EAX holding the value of site hex 1 because we did it previously. So for the first iteration, we are adding result 1, which is 0, with the first with the EAX, which is 24 right here. So for the first loop, it will be 24. And then we are looping for 6 times, so 24 times 6, we got 144, which is correct over here. Then moving on to the next hexagon, we are going to display the prompt message by doing this, just like what I explained before, and reading the decimal value input by the user, moving the value into site hex2, store it in site hex2 variable, call for CRLF to move to the next two line. We call it twice. So this is the first and this is the second. Then initialize the value of result2 to 0, moving the value of set hex2 into EAX and set the counter into 6. So this is just like what we did for the first loop. It is the same concept. We just add result2 with EAX for 6 times. So the result2 will keep updating while the EAX is fixed one. EAX is site hex2 over here. This is fixed, where the result2 is the one that keep updating. So next, after moving on, we are going to display this line of message, the result of parameter hexagon 1 and 2. So by doing so, we need to move the offset of result into EDX. Offset, the result is the string variable of this line. So call for the right string, call for CRLF to move to the next line, and then move the result 1 into EAX, call for right decimal to write the decimal value that's stored in EAX. So after executing this line, 144 will be displayed. And then calling for CRLF, move to the next line, 192. We are storing the result2, which is 192, into register EAX. Then we call for the right decimal function to display it onto the string. So after executing this line, you will see immediately 192 displayed on the screen. So call for CRLF twice to skip to the next two lines. Then we are doing the addition of the two parameter value. So moving the result 1 into EAX register, then we are adding the result2 to EAX register and store the result of the addition in EAX. Then we are moving the value of EAX into the variable total P. So now total P will host the result of addition of these two variables, which is the result 1 and result 2. Then to display this line of message, total parameter hexagon 1 and 2, we just simply move the offset of the string variable into EDX, then call for right string function, then we move the total P result, the total P variable into EAX. We move the value of total P into EAX, then call for right decimal to write the value of the decimal value of EAX currently hold onto the screen. So total P just now holding the result of the addition. So now after calling the right decimal function, the sum of two parameter will be displayed over here. Then call for CRLF to move to the next lines. So ask again query. This is to ask for user opinion, like if they want to continue with the main program or to exit the benchmark. So I'm going to display demo for user input Y. So once user input Y, it will direct the user back to the main menu. So this allows user to perform the same activity again and again. So how the code works, we display the message, press Y to main menu or N to exit the benchmark by using these two lines. Then we read the user input through the read char function, and then write char function is to write what the user have inputted. Then because char is only occupied the lower byte, so we just move the AL into choice, then call for CRLF to move to the next two line. This is not important. Then we comparing the choice with Y. So if choice equals to Y, we will jump if equals to the main menu start. So if not equal, then we will compare again if the choice equal to N or not. So if equal to N, we will jump to goodbye segment over here. So, but if the user input other alphabet or other character other than Y or N, it will jump to ask again query, which is just keep asking the user until the user input the correct input. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.